government is pushing services to be delivered online. And the president had a very big launch on this. And we now are seeing you can see over 16,000 government services, 100 plus ministries. Mr. Emmanuel Carter talked about Konza, Technopolis, and the horizontal infrastructure being in place and inviting people to come, investors to come. He talked about NOFB and the extensive rollout of fiber and connectivity, the Wi-Fi and all that. That is what digitizing of services is looking to bring people to transact online. Now just go to the next slide, and on the next slide, as the launch happened, just a few months after that, this is the headline we saw. Anonymous Sudan, right? What impact does this have, and what does it communicate to this customer, to this citizen who is meant to access these digital services? All right? So, essential online services unavailable, okay? Kenya's e-citizen digital infrastructure crippled, okay? Let's go to the next one. On the next slide, we have this big drive. And I think we also saw another scene. I was trying to get another picture of people lining up at KICC and having their, biometrics taken. And for the head of state to enroll, that means there must be some trust, right? And this rollout was very highly debated, and even the Kenya High Court challenged. It was taken to the Kenya High Court and was challenged in 2019. And what was the ruling? The ruling really touched on, again, digital trust. Let's move to the next one. Over COVID, a very common thing that has continued even up to today. So we can go to the next slide, is you're being asked to sign and do things online. And when somebody verifies a document, we want to believe that it was really them. So we're no longer focusing on in-person. We're saying, please verify even remotely using your digital credentials. LinkedIn, this is also where many of you are looking for jobs. You've seen also a push even on LinkedIn for you to verify your identity, right? Because how sure is a recruiter that you are who you say you are? And we all seem to look alike. Maybe to Asian or European, they say, you guys all look alike, right? So how do they know that it's really you when you show up for that interview? Let's go for the next one. And this was very big in the electioneering season 2 cycles ago, but now has come back again because of this element of the video you're seeing and the message you're seeing. Is it truly that? Is it that person who's really spoken? If you get instructions from a head of state, are you sure it's a head of state who's really spoken, or some mimic and generated deep fake? If you've not seen this clip, I encourage you to go and see. And there's some very interesting conversations even around synthetic identities. And the other one we've seen is on financial fraud, and that's the next picture. And I'm going to drive this quickly so that I can be ending in the next few minutes. Now, even senior officers, OCSs, have fallen victim and lost close to 600,000. Can you imagine 600,000 shillings lost? And part of this is change of identity. SIM swap really is about change of identity. Somebody has found a way to take your identity, impersonate you, change, and represent you in financial transactions, not just using the money you have in your M-Pesa or digital wallet, but also lending apps and borrowing against your credit. And this can go on and on. And the last one I wanted to just focus on, if you could just jump that slide and move to the next one on post-quantum. On post-quantum, people are saying the cryptography, and I like the presentation from my colleague, Dr. Githinji, the era of cryptography we are currently enjoying is soon to be short-lived because of quantum computing. And the challenge is now to develop algorithms that can supersede the speed of cracking keys. And this being brute force cracking, where computation, raw computational power is enough to get us to see the secret keys. And some of the conversations around this is, yes, encryption is at the heart of digital trust. Certificates, digital certificates are how we identify and validate who we are communicating with, whether that's on the blockchain or even our current internet infrastructure. What if somebody is able to crack that and impersonate? What if somebody is able to harvest data and keep it and say, this data that we've kept, we may not use it right now, but we've saved it and we'll crack it later and break your cryptography. So this is a big discussion, and I know there is promising leads in terms of the next cipher suits around this that are quantum resistant, and looking at what is currently safe for now. And it's a very big discussion. And I think it's an interesting area for research. So let me now jump into this, and just to report on these case studies, the ones that have come out from you as the audience. And please, if you haven't participated, please join on slido.com. Misinformation is big. That's the top. Phishing, many of you have fallen for phishing attacks. Misinformation, do you see that? Even the deep fake element, and also you receiving all these forwards, tuma kwa hii number, all these things that you get on your phone and people are communicating. It's all about, it's impacting the trust you have on the platforms. So how do we fix this? And that's what I want to now land this plane on. Principles of shaping digital trust. And I'm going to just share a few, and I hope at the end of this you'll give me feedback on which one stuck and was the most important that stood out for you. Let's move on to the principles. The first is user-centric design. And this is basically saying organizations need to take what is important to the user and make that key. Privacy has slowly made it to the ranks as being very important. I think you guys have seen the documentaries like The Great Hack, and people saying, how did I become registered as a member of this national political party, right? You find yourself in the database because your data has been used for other things other than what you thought you were giving it for. So what companies are being kept to account is, you've collected the data. For what reason? And are you sticking to that reason? And are you getting informed consent from users? Now, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner already issued quite a number of hefty fines, some of them even going up to 2 million Kenya shillings. Do you remember that? Some of them being to clubs, some of them being to schools. So this thing is likely to even take more prominence, especially as the courts are brought cases that relate to people's personal data. I really liked hearing Dr. Gashomba earlier talking about medical records being digitized. That's very sensitive information. So are you sure that your data is being used for exactly that and nothing else? Is it falling in the wrong hands? Security by design is the next principle. And this has taken many different tones. Security architecting is taking center stage, shifting left, meaning we're not putting security as an afterthought. Security is being brought to the forefront right at the beginning of even our development practices and our acquisition. End-to-end encryption being designed, post-quantum cryptography being also big in terms of just secure systems. The next is supply chain integrity. And I think the headlines have been in the last 1 or 2 weeks, and we know what's happening on the global scene. And the question is, what are the components that are making up your system? Where are they from? Who is a manufacturer? What confidence do you have in this product that has been assembled? Whether that's a physical device or software, including libraries that are imported from different places. And there's a lot of cross-industry collaboration. There's a whole ecosystem that delivers for us the technology that we have. How sure are we things are working as they should and they have not been tampered with and they will not be used for other things other than what we're expecting them to do? The other is identity. Identity is going to be the centerpiece, the core. And even when we talk about zero trust, I know we're talking about digital trust, and engineers of systems are doing zero trust. So are we getting away with the trust thing? But identity is going to be center stage because we need to identify not just people, processes, devices, applications that we're interacting with, and be sure that what we're interacting with is the true person, individual, or device or system, and not any other. And now we've talked about the challenges around cryptography that we are looking at, but how will we then truly verify? And I think any of you who's been looking at the latest trends around identity, you've seen that we've moved, multi-factor is the basic level. We're no longer saying we're on password-based authentication, but we're also incorporating additional checks. Where are you logging in from, is it within your normal activity, what is called normal, and have you moved away from that to what is abnormal when you're doing something on the system? I know my time is up. I've talked about zero trust, 3 principles: verify explicitly, least privilege access, and assume you've already been hit and you've been breached. Defense in depth, basically being identity, digital trust has to be built in layers with a mix of controls, with multiple challenges, even multiple vendors, right? So that it's harder to gain access. And when access is breached, you buy time. You buy time so that you can respond. Resilience is the last one. Despite our best efforts, cyber incidents will still take place and they are inevitable. So we need to have quick response. We need to be able to mitigate and stop the negative effects and the damage as soon as possible and restore those systems back to normal operation. We can no longer take it as possible to have a service out. We should be able to have services still running even when we are under attack. And that is my presentation. Just to give you feedback from the audience, I got 30 people say that the biggest concern when they are hit is their personal information. But then money comes second, their data. It's good, you guys ranked data higher than your device. Some of you guys are like, hey, my iPhone, it had better not go. And then the last thing I'll invite is for your question and answers. I will respond even beyond this session. So I've pushed on the slide or to any takeouts and any questions, and I will respond. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Dr. Musuva, USIU. Next, we're going to have Mike Kamau, Managing Director, Sati Trust.
Good afternoon, against the organizers, my fellow speakers. Good afternoon again. So my name's Mike Kamau. I'm the MD CertiTrust. So CertiTrust is a certification body. So I don't have a presentation on, but I'll do a talk through. So asante sana Daktari Paula, you've done some justice to my presentation. My topic for today is around confidence in the digital era. So how do we build confidence? So while I was trying to research about the topic, something came up to my mind. Every time you go to a building, you always find a security person, and they always have this metallic device. Somehow, I don't know whether the manufacturer agreed, the beep always flash like this, makes the same sound. But look at it, if you contextualize it, when you go to that building or later, at the security of that building, whoever is going in, they don't have the metals. How do we do that now from a context of digital perspective? And what I've seen in the market, whether you're a producer, you're a regulator, you're a consumer, there are three things we are looking for. Can we get quality? Can we get reliability? And the third one is the interoperability. So quality, you're looking at this product I'm being given, it gives me the service that I want, deliver what I'm expecting, and vice versa. Me as a producer, as they expect. So when we give quality, take for example, a young man develops an app, Facebook, I'm selling this merchandise, and even puts a till number. So when you see this and they ask you pay through via, you'll find actually you actually go behind and actually call and actually verify, is this the number, is it you? Reason, there's no confidence. How do we build confidence? It's about quality. Let's look at reliability. The government is doing a lot of digitization. Our national health system is going digital. Are we sure that if at midnight you want to get access to the service? What if on Sunday things are not working? Will you get service? Will you get help? Those are the things we are looking for. And you see, if we get that confidence, we will be able to use these digital apparatus. Or what if, let's say, for example, we go across the border. I'm using my app. Maybe my family is this other side. I'll be able to use it because I've crossed the border. Is there reliability on that? So those are the things we are looking at. Take, for example, when I came in, I was actually asked to share my slide. Sorry, I only have one slide. So there's a lady called Karen who gave me her number, and I sent the slide. So to Karen, what assurance do you have that I'll only use that number for the slide on a lighter note? Yeah? So from our context now, we look at, that's where standards comes in. Standards, they come in and leverage everything. So that we are saying whichever geography you're in, whether you're in Europe, Africa, whether you're in South Asia, is there a baseline that when we say there is information security, there is business continuity, there is reliability, there's something that you've matched, there's something you've met. So that now we are able to say, if I go at the entrance, give my personal number, give my car number, give my all that the security people will only use that information for that purpose. And if I ask them to forget it, they'll actually forget it or delete it. Or I don't end up being in a political party in Kenyan context, okay? So those are the challenges we are facing. And what we've seen, actually there's some statistics which came out just last week from ISO. You'll see there's a very big uptake since COVID in terms of standards. Because now we are looking at, we want to do international trade. We want to partner with other organizations. But how do I know you? How do I trust you? How do I have confidence that you'll actually be able to deliver? Same way we have, if you're crossing the border, if you remove your national ID or your passport, then the person at the immigration is able to identify and able to get confidence that this is actually a true person, is actually a citizen. The same also us. So what is this thing that you can be able to give to your fellow business people, to your fellow players in the market, that you'll be able to build confidence in that? What is the role of academia in this conversation of also building confidence? If you look at statistics, there's a very big gap in terms of competence. Competent people to be able to support this ecosystem of digital trust or digital confidence. So you'll find what we have and what the market expects, there's a very big gap. So the challenge is to academia, can we be able to train more? Can we be able to impact more knowledge? And knowledge is not only about the technical people, because again, then there's a confusion. There's the users who need to be aware. What is my role in terms of maybe information security? What is my role in terms of this digital conversation? And if you've noticed in the past, I've seen banks starting now to do that. They're able to send you SMS and say, we don't call you on this number, we only give you this. That's awareness, and it actually helps to build confidence. Then vice versa, do we have competent people to be able to deliver this, to produce these digital devices, digital apparatus? If you look at, again, also based on statistics, the current conversation is going green and AI. How ethical is the AI conversation? How ethical are the AI devices that you are building? Does it respect the human dignity? Does it respect the human nature? Who is the police for this AI? So that's where standards comes in, and you are able to balance the equation and say, yes, you're developing an AI, there's some basics you need to meet. If maybe you are developing products, digital products, how will it affect our nature? Is your devices being able to be recycled, or are they going for that, what we call, we can be able to sustain tomorrow? As in, we are living today, but also tomorrow we are protecting it. So those are the conversations I feel we should be having in terms of looking the confidence in the digital era in a 360. Let's not just focus in terms of maybe the technology only. Let's focus also on the people, the processes, from the users to the end users. And I think from there, we'll be able to build confidence and be able to have the citizens, have the people in the country be able to accept all this digital conversation, all the digital innovations we are trying to pick up. And that marks the end of my conversation. I hope I've tried to instill some confidence in you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Steve Kariuki, Profit Up.
Good afternoon. I also want to ride on to the same protocol that was here so that we can also save time. I don't know whether my slides are up on that side. Otherwise, my name is Steve Kariuki. I am a key account manager at a Dutch company called Profit Up. I'm also a network traffic analyst. And I usually battle cybersecurity from a network analysis perspective. Just want to take you back to class for just 1 minute. The lecturer who taught you about network design and management told you that internet comes in and it is terminated at a router's point. From there we have a firewall for screening. From there you have a switch. Then you have your users or your clients. The reasons to why we have that firewall there is so that it can screen traffic that is coming in, or we give it rules. If you see this IP, come in. If you see this IP, stop it. But does that particular firewall take time to look at the payload? In some cases, yes. In some cases, it doesn't. But all it doesn't, then we have whether the IP was told to come in, then the IP goes in with the malicious content. If it does inspection, of that payload, most probably it will be able up to a certain level because you have thousands of traffic coming in or going out. Now, if it is unable to actually look at all the packets, what happens then? Then in as much as you have a firewall, you simply have traffic that is coming in as much as it is allowed, it has content that was not supposed to go inside there. So at ProfitUp, this is what we do. We manufacture these devices, these one among many, that we call, TAPs or test access points. Now, what test access points do, you connect it in between your router and your firewall. You capture that particular traffic that is inside there, and you take it to your XDR. I think Sangfo talked about it today in the morning. You take it to your NDRs and so on and so forth. You also go to your firewall, in between your firewall and your switch, and you do the same. So now what you have is all traffic, and now this traffic is heading to your CMs, your NDRs, and your XDRs. You can actually have one security threat analysis team doing that. Sometimes, if at all you have your system going off, and your network engineers are blaming each other with the application developers, then you still go back to that traffic that you have captured and start trying to figure out where the problem is. Now, this is an area that in Africa we have not really looked into. But I can tell you, because I have the privilege of sitting in my office and talking to the rest of the world, especially on cybersecurity companies. Cybersecurity companies around the globe value their packets. They know that if at all these packets get in and they have not been inspected, they have a problem. And that is why you allow me to move maybe to the last slide before. That is why this company has this global outlook. We are able to serve defense forces, including the US. We're able to serve banks. We're able to serve various platforms, e-platforms, and so on. Why? Because everybody needs to get access to those packets. That type of attack will simply come through that particular packet. So if at all you are unable to look into those packets, then you don't have access. You actually don't have access to your security mitigation risks. Why do we need to capture and analyze these packets? On an overview, maybe 3 minutes. For network monitoring and baselining, my sister here has just talked about what is normal, what is abnormal. Now, how do you get to understand what is normal, if at all, what is abnormal, if at all you actually don't know how your abnormal looks like? So when you connect those devices, you are able to see your traffic over time. You're able to see where your clients are accessing. You're able to see which protocols are coming in. Today in the morning, somebody talked about OT traffic. Yes, OT traffic uses a protocol called Modbus. We need to monitor Modbus. Why? Somebody could be sending a code to that particular PLC or to that sensor to raise the temperature or drop the temperature. What happens to that pipeline? What happens to that energy grid? Somebody from Kengen talked about being trained on that area. Those are the areas that you need to look at. Kenya Power today talks about system disturbance, and then we have 4 or 5 hours blackout. Why didn't we see that? Why don't we monitor first? So when you monitor all the traffic that you're coming in, and by the way, our devices like the one that I've just mentioned here has an inbuilt IOTA, so the traffic is usually screened, analyzed, and insights are provided on fly or in line, then you're actually able to understand exactly what is coming in and out of your network traffic. I've just mentioned to you that if at all you have a security information and event manager, or you have an XDR or an NDR, but it is not seeing all the traffic, trust me, you're only seeing 99% of, you're only seeing 0.1% of the threats that are coming in. I mean, the server that is connected, that is hosting that application is only connected to one port on your switch. Then it is only seeing that traffic. What about the rest of the other traffic? So you need to get access to all this traffic and channel it. to those particular MDRs so that they're able to see this visibility. Source of information to verify compliance with the law. Now, this one goes to the Office of the Data Protection Commission. If you have been able to apply for a data handler or processor certificate, you and me, we know very well how it looks like. It's a next thing. And later on, you pay 40, 50. And that's it. And if you ask most IT managers, you'll never find somebody coming to verify. There's a question like, what have you done to ensure that, you don't have malware here? Maybe utandika hapo, you have a firewall, you have a WAF, or you have something like that. Nobody will come to verify that. But you see, ODPC need not go there, especially for web-based applications. Why? Because you can do things that we refer to as client-side decryption, and you'll actually be able to know what type of security is there. We've also had another type of talk here, that, or maybe even in other conferences, that you cannot audit cloud security systems. Trust you me, you can. In fact, AWS provides you with a certain service called Cloud Watcher or something, AWS Cloud Watcher. It allows you to extract the traffic that is running on your instance so that you can be in a position to analyze what is actually going on your instances. Otherwise, the moment you just give somebody, when you procure a cloud service, it does not mean that then you offshore everything to them. They will do the hardware bit of it. But in terms of security, incident response, it is your responsibility. How do you do that if at all you don't have packets? You need them. You actually need them. I've had the privilege of sitting down and looking at some of our banking systems that we have. Most of them don't do something referred to as application layer encryption. So if somebody goes into those rooms and you install sniffers, and you have already heard about those stories, and those attacks have been successful. Why? Because we don't do that. So that means that when I'm seated here, and you are running a web-based application, I'm simply able to do an entire reconnaissance about your web-based application system. So if we are talking about zero trust, I need you to give me packets so that I can independently verify what type of security architecture you have actually set there. But when you just come and tell me, I have a firewall, it is correctly configured. I have a WAF, it is correctly configured. I will not believe you until you give me packets so that I can independently review that environment. I've mentioned about the issue of VTAPs. VTAPs are simply the device that I've just shown you here. Now it is in a software format. You're able to install it in instances, running VMwares and so on, and you're actually able to get access to that particular traffic. Now, one of the reasons as to why you'll find that most organizations worldwide want these packets is only for two reasons: security purposes, and the last thing that I've mentioned there, performance analysis and troubleshooting. And it is unfortunate that as a country, that as a continent, to be very sincere, we don't have this discussion. In fact, the only place that you'll especially find people talking about cybersecurity from a packet analysis perspective is through a very popular conference that usually happens in EU or in US called SharkFest. If you don't access, if you actually don't get access to materials from SharkFest, I don't see you getting any other material, especially on this particular environment. And at this particular point, I will allow the organizers, or I'll just seek the intelligence of the organizers of this particular platform to invite you on November 19th to 21st at Murang'a University of Technology. We'll be having the first African, quote-unquote, SharkFest happening there. And we'll actually be looking at this environment so that we can actually assist, especially application developers, those people who are doing threat intelligence, the government, to simply have an overview of exactly what happens in the area of packet analysis. Otherwise, I thank you. I know we don't have much time, but again, when it comes to the issue of packet analysis, I think we can spend weeks, maybe months, discussing just one environment. Thank you.
Next, we're going to have Frederick Yado from Ghana. And as Frederick gets to the podium, I understand there are students who have run away from class. Audit master class. Please go to your class, the press room. You're required. Are you running away from auditing? Oops. Please go to your class.
Good afternoon. I'm Frederick and from Ghana, specifically the Parliament of Ghana. I'm here with my brother at the top corner, Adley Guided, Mr. Justice. First of all, I would like to thank our organizers, Mr. John and your team, for the good work done. And we hope to also host Cyber Africa anytime soon. We are discussing shortly on how to leverage our digital transformation that is with us. But I also beg the organizers to, again, tomorrow, so that they give us a chance to talk more on the situation of Ghana in terms of cybersecurity and in terms of our digitization agenda. So when we talk about how to leverage the digital transformation excellence, we are basically talking about how individuals, organizations, industries, how we can fully utilize the benefits of technology. And in doing so, we have to consider very different elements that individuals and then organizations and schools, industries, we can apply in our system, we can use to at least get the full benefit of our current technology that is with us. I want to consider this very 8 bullet points, how leadership and culture can help us to leverage the full potentials of technology with us, how customer-centric approach can help us, how we can use agile methodologies, technology integration, talent development, data-driven decision-making, and then continuous improvement. Sorry. Vision and strategy. The first point I want to consider. Vision and strategy here is about how industries and organizations establish a clear vision that align with our current technologies that are emerging. You see that when your industry or your business fail to set your missions and visions to foresee the next 10 years or 5 years, how will technology be? How will my company adapt to emerging technologies? By the time you realize, your business will begin to collapse. But as and when we set up our business visions, our organizational visions, we have to look at the current technology that are in the system, the upcoming technologies, how will we align these visions with our technologies? Leadership and culture, it's all about leadership. In order to benefit from technology, in order to get the full advantage of our technologies, it's about leadership. It's about leadership. If the company owners, the government institution, our leaders, individuals, if we did not really have the need, or we don't really realize the need why we should adapt technologies in our system, you will see that we will never get anywhere. So that's why when you have a leader who is technology driven, depending on the organization or the industry in which you are, then we say that you see that your organization will grow. So leaders should champion digital initiative, encourage employees to grow in their business, to grow in their technology level. Then you see that we all have a very growing industry. Customer-centric approach. The customer-centric approach is about how we utilize data to identify the customer needs. Because the customer comes with varying ideas, with varying view, with various interests and various demand. So if you are an industry owner, what you should really look at is about looking and foreseeing what the customer will want. So that's why we say you have to utilize data analytics and customer right to tailor the product and services. That's when the customer access your website, when the customer access your company, then the demands that the person envision is really what he's seeing. So if that happens, we will encourage you to. If you have a challenge there, then you have to do more engagement so that we can satisfy the customer. Agile methodologies and implementing our various technologies to the industries, to our organizations. We encourage that we utilize agile technologies. We break down our inputs, we break down our plans so that when the customer is able to access it in phases and in a better interactive form, that you see that the customer will be satisfied with whatever he is searching for. And in applying agile technologies, we encourage that we make sure our systems gives quick responses. There are some systems, when you go online and you even ask a question, it will take a week, a month, before they can be customer service to attend to you. So we have to, in any way possible, create an interactive industry work system. Technology integration. We have to choose the right technology. Depending on your business vision, depending on your business strategy, we encourage that you choose the right technology that you can integrate seemingly without any problem. Depending on how you want your customers to access your data, to access your information, to benefit from your services, then the technology that we employ, we should make sure it is the right technology that we use for a seeming integration. Talent development, very important. employees and employers, we need to be up, if not ahead of current technologies, but we should be up to date with the various different kinds of technologies that are with us. If the employees are well equipped, if they are well trained, if their awareness is created, then your industry will grow based on the input you have given to your employees. That will give you the necessary results. Continuous development. We advise that regularly we assess and refine digital strategies based on feedback and performances. When customers assesses your services, then as regular as possible, it is important that we assess the technology that we deploy. When you deploy the technology, then customers assess it, then you assess the feedback. Is the feedback positive? Do I need to apply any extra modern technology? Do I need to add any extra data? So continuous improvement based on feedback from our services that we render is important. I will go into the perspective of Ghana in terms of the little we do in technology. When you come to the government sector, we have various ministries and agencies that are targeted towards digital development. That's why we have the Minister for Digitization. The minister's role is simply to deploy technologies that will help our system to grow. And recently, around 2020, the Cybersecurity Authority was set up. It's a full act that Parliament of Ghana has approved. So we have various ministries as in communication, digitization, information, alongside with the various agencies and departments that plays the role of improving our digital space. When you come to the national agenda on education, last year, the government have to restructure and develop a new curriculum for the nation. And the curriculum is basically geared towards technology. From the basic to the secondary level, the curriculum has been reviewed, and we now have a new educational curriculum that caters for the basic and secondary cycle education. And in that curriculum, the basic level from class 1 up to the secondary level, the teaching of learning of AI and artificial intelligence is important and is compulsory for everybody. That is captured in the syllabus. Programming and robotics technology has been captured in the syllabus that teachers have to teach from the basis. So we have the idea that when the children are catch on with technology, then the future is bright. And government at the same time is setting up what we call STEM schools: science, technology, and engineering mathematics schools. Those schools are set up purposely to engage students who want to study in science, who want to study mathematics, engineering, basically for that. And there are 4 schools that are set up in the secondary level. Also, we look at our digital center. The government has set up a digital sector, and that sector is to facilitate the access across over 120 districts and municipalities in the country. And the government has invested over $3 million on fiber optic technology. And this digital sector is a sector that is a hub that connects every aspect of the individual technologies to a one central point. And it covers over 800-kilometer distance that links the north of the country to the south of the country. At the educational level, let me be quick to add something. Because of the advancement in technology, government has taken this as an important step to provide every teacher with a free laptop that they can improve on the technology teaching of our students. All the secondary schools, over 3 million students that we have in the country, have been provided with free tablets so that they can access and learn technology at every point that they are. Institutional and organizational integration. Because of the setting up of the digital center, most of the institutions of our country are now digitized. When you go to the ports, it's a paperless system, paperless ports. When you go to our electricity company, ECG, it's a paperless institution. Anywhere you are, you can buy your lights and use for your services. When you come to the judicial services, the judicial service have deployed what we call the e-court, that cases can be handled online. You don't even need to be there physically before your case can be attended to. Then we have e-parliament. The e-parliament is coming on, not yet implemented. By end of this October, we are going fully into e-parliament, that members of parliament can do voting online. You don't need to be present in the house when there is a voting before you can vote. And they are provided with a system that all the hazard materials that you need to do your research, they are right in front of you. So as at now, the chamber is under construction. So by end of October, we will have a paperless parliamentary system. The banking and financial sector, which is key, which they are more into advancing and financing cybersecurity in our country, especially the Bank of Ghana, which is a key sponsor of our cybersecurity technology. As I said, tomorrow, we will delve more into it. When you go to the passport office, equally the same. So in conclusion, not to waste much time, because tomorrow we will prepare and come. By focusing on these areas that I mentioned about, you see that organizations can effectively leverage digital transformation to gain competitive edge and drive a sustainable growth that various companies need to improve upon. Kenya is doing well. Kenya, we are happy for you. Kenya, we wish to be here every time in your drive in technology advancement as we copy from you and learn from you as well. Thank you very much, please.
I disagree with Frederick. They are not copying from, we are copying from them. Even global statistics are showing that they are leading, because each child has a tablet. Wow. And each teacher has a laptop. And they have a cybersecurity ministry. Okay, we'll ask the questions tomorrow. Thank you, Frederick. Nancy Derry.
Good afternoon. Is there hunger in this house? Because I saw the buffet, it was fantastic. Good afternoon. Thank you. Now, there's something that is supposed to be queued for me by Mr. Dennis. As we do that, my name is Nancy Nderi, and I work for Cybol, a cyber threat intelligence company. I'm the regional sales manager for Africa. And today I'm going to be giving you a bit of insight in regards to Africa, cybersecurity stance in terms of the threats that are affecting our region. Thank you, Dennis. Hope you're not counting this, Mr. MC. The delay is not on my part. Thank you. Okay. Okay, great. As I said, I'm from Cyber, and we'll touch on a bit on cyber threat intelligence. Now, how would it feel if someone has access to your most personal details, your usernames and your passwords? Could be your banking data, could be LinkedIn, you know, these private chats that you have. And one day you just find them all being populated in the social media spaces. I think that's a bit scary, also including your family data. So let's see what we're going to discover today. Dennis, that's the wrong PPT. MC, I'm sorry, it is not my fault. Sorry? So, as projected, Did you know that in Africa we have paid about $4 billion to cybercrime threat actors? And that's about 10% GDP of Africa's monies. So you should actually ask yourself, so when my government is not running some of my projects, where is this money going to? So it's actually going to fighting cybercrime. In Kenya, there were 860 million cyber attacks in 2023. We are only 50 million in terms of population, and the adult population that has access to the net probably is about 50%. So let's count the rest as children and the youth. And now you can see the Gen Zs have become empowered in terms of tools compared to the previous generation. So they've got access to a lot of information. Dennis, any luck? Sorry? Imagine, just during my session. Now you understand how cyber threat works, yeah? Anyway, so the ransomware attacks in 2023, about 23%, and that is the highest in the world, and that's only in Africa. So we have a lot of work to do when it comes to fighting cyber threats. And I can tell you the reason why we've got security measures is because of the human aspect. Now, when you implement a platform, it does not need a human being to run it, then you don't need to apply any security feature. So why do I say that? When you are building your home, you have very high walls and barbed wires. Who are you preventing from walking into your house? A robot? No, a human being. So security has been made because of the vulnerabilities that the human aspect has brought forth. In South Africa alone, 78% of the companies were affected in terms of ransomware and digital extortion. You can imagine the next year's financial budget would be hitting trillions because of trying to fight these cybercrimes as well. Did you know that artificial intelligence is actually being used to create deepfake profiles in romance scams? So if at all you're waiting for any of your lovelies in December, just note some botnet or some robot has been sending you love messages because of, hey, artificial intelligence. So clearly, you need to make sure that you don't fall victim for this. When it comes to business, I think everyone is more scared of losing data. So data has been the biggest talk, the biggest aspect, because the minute someone has access to your data, be it financials, be it corporate policies, be it budgets, you become vulnerable to the point that someone is actually going to use that against you. So email, phishing, we've been hearing this whole week, phishing emails, and I can tell you, again, the human aspect. You go through an exercise on cybersecurity, but there's always that one person who will click on that one link, and then you go back again to the drawing board on fighting phishing links. When it comes to cyber threat, intelligence in the need of the hour, and that's the reason why we are here today. Because what we are focusing on is maximizing threat intelligence to boost resilience. So why am I here today to represent that aspect? It's because we have created an avenue, a platform for you to be able to realize this reality of ensuring that cyber threat intelligence can be onboarded and can be utilized within your organizations. So what are the benefits? We look at proactive threat hunting, how we are able to ensure that the threats don't get to you in terms of crippling your operations by ensuring that we give you the visibility to fight them beforehand, improving incident response. Now, that is a key area that each and every organization needs to implement, because incident response determines how you move to the next phase of ensuring that you don't come across such an incident again. And of course, we're talking about cyber threat. When you talk about enhanced decision making, every business wants to wake up in the morning and not fight something called cybercrime. They say a happy wife is a happy home. So when your IT team is happy, trust me, the operations of the business flow more smoothly. And then that translates to your business owners, giving better strategies on the focus of the business as well as security strategies. Third-party service providers. And I'm not going to mention any names because I think we've got some representatives in the house. But today, if you have a telco that is leaking any of your data, or your bank or any service provider, how do you ensure that they are also not leaking your data as an organization? So we provide a risk score for you to score your service providers, for you to tell them that, hey, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever, your data in terms of your security stance and posture is going to cause me loss in terms of either information or credentials or compromised files. So this is your report. Could you please clean up your house before we move forward? So it's an area that is missing in most business areas. Where are we? Yes, we are here. So on the third-party supply chain, and I know most organizations don't have one supplier or one service provider, so probably 10, 100, depending with the services. So briefly a bit where I'm from, an organization from the US, ISO certified, with a few recognitions in this CTI industry. When you look at the products that we also provide, and the reason why I'm talking about them is because they also touch on each and every sector that you'd think of. We also look at government, where we provide solutions for intelligence platforms, military platforms. So we're not looking only at your normal enterprise platforms. I want to task you to go to your phones. Yes, go to your phones. Go to Google and type ibreached.com. That's the third column, ibreached.com. Then you're going to understand when I said we have 860 million attacks that were recorded in 2023. So please put your personal email address, your phone numbers, and then you'll probably have a small meeting by yourselves and ask yourself, so how much more of your data has been leaked out there without your consent or without your knowledge? Get Odin, of course, is a corporate platform, and Cyber Express. You could all subscribe to it because we also give you visibility on various cybercrime data and also attacks and malware. So we have two different types of individuals and corporates. I can see some smiles. I am happy. So we have got two types of people or corporates, because people are also like corporates. Those who are breached and those who are about to get breached. So if you're seeing any of your data in the dark web, you have been breached. Mumesalimiwa. So we also have a process on how we run this, where we help you, of course, ensure that you don't end up paying millions or even thousands of dollars to these threat actors. And of course, we have a way that we also mitigate the same. And guess what? We engage those threat actors. I didn't say terrorists, I said threat actors. So on behalf of the organizations that don't have that kind of skill, we're able to ensure that you don't lose your money and your data. And we have been doing pretty well in this industry, thanks to the customers and the partners. Cyber Pro, asanteni sana for being our partner and allowing us to be part of this show today and this conference, most importantly. Now, any questions for me? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kevin Isom, and my question is, what are the legalities challenges faced concerning director negotiators? Because from the little that I know from the case studies that I've been able to listen to and follow up, is that the threat negotiators have should I say it's like a gray area with the FBI because they don't negotiate, just as you said, negotiate with terrorists. So it becomes a slight issue, and it even comes down to the debate of, let's say, if you were to spend, let's say, 1,000 Bitcoin to send to them, maybe you negotiate with them and give them a 500 Bitcoin, you're still funding them, enabling them to continue to do the activities or to do other nefarious activities. Could you tell us what now, the rest of the world, what now is happening in the rest of the world concerning that matter? Thank you.
Okay. By the time an organization engages threat actors or ransomware groups, they have done their homework on the weaknesses of these groups or individuals. Now, you just don't pay blindly, you just don't go collecting data blindly and covering yourselves. You have to ensure that you actually validate that data. And most of the time, it's a line item to scare the organization, and I can tell you that. Sometimes you actually find a lot of data that would actually cripple your organization. How we handle it, that is a conversation I'd want to have with you one-on-one. Yes, sir. One more. I have been told I just have.
My name is Rita from Technical University of Kenya.
Yes.
One of the academic staff members. Now, this is about cybersecurity, but I want to pose one question to you. When you distribute software, I'm not an IT specialist, but I'm a business consultant. Now, when you distribute software, like we have had software such as enterprise resource planning systems, which are now very commonly applicable in Kenya. Now, when you go to a place like Konza City, now they have set up what you call a data center. Now, most companies are migrating from enterprise software to cloud. So, as far as your organization is concerned, when it comes to data protection, paying for data protection, let us say the Ministry of Finance or any parastatal in Kenya or any private firm, it becomes very expensive to pay up for the services in data protection to consult a company like yours. Now, where do we see as, are you consulting for private companies in terms of cyber protection, or you consult for data centers? Like in Kenya, we are likely to have so many data centers coming up the next 5 or so years. So are you able, for the purpose of cost reduction, I don't see a situation where private companies are going to go for consulting because it becomes very expensive. Maybe that clarification is important.
So when I said for you to look up your data in Am I Breached, we have gone to the level of being able to consult even for an individual. So from your supermarkets, academic institutions, BFSI, government, you name it, we touch it, we are able to consult. So we do not have our limitations, neither are we biased. We also cover cloud, we also cover open source platforms. code repositories. There are very many areas. We have over 80 use cases of how you can be able to utilize our platform. The limitations, I can say, sky's the limit for us, and we keep improving our services every day. And I am readily available to have a conversation with you, especially regarding your academic institution. And maybe we could discover a few leaked files regarding your academic performance. How is that? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your afternoon.
Are you breached? By show of hands. Yeah, one person is breached. Two. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Dr. Leonard Wakoli, Jaramogi. University. Strategies for talent development.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon once again. Thank you very much. As we've been told, my name is Dr. Leonard Wakoli from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. Excited to be here, and I would like to thank the conveners for the invite. This is a very important forum. I will be talking about talent development strategies. I think we can go straight to the agenda items. Okay, thank you. We have a few items that we are going to look at. One, we want to look at facts and figures, not in detail because previous speakers have already alluded to that. Cyber security trends in 2024, strategies to hire and develop cyber security champions or leaders, and then, of course, summarize, conclude. Then you can also look at the references. Okay, so you can see on facts and figures from Forbes.com, we have those figures there. The previous figures just alluded to this. Basically, you can see the figures are quite scaring, particularly if you look at 3, where we are talking of the fact that around the world, a data breach cost or will cost $4.88 million on average in this year, 2024. And you can see also number 4, we are talking of email being the most common vector for malware, with around 35% of malware delivered by email last year. So we have quite a good number of these statistics, these figures, and they are quite scary. So basically what we want to look at is, maybe let's go through the trends first and then we'll look at the strategies. How do we navigate around this? So again, you can see cybercrime trends in 2024. We have rising tide of AI-driven cybercrime, targeted social media scams, advanced BBC attacks, ransomware targeting personal information, and so forth and so on. So basically what we are looking at is that cybercrime is predicted to cost the world that much this year. So what do we do? So what is the way out? That's a question we must answer. So basically we then must think of setting up or establishing a cybersecurity army to combat this, because we have no choice. So how do you go about it? This is where exploration of practical strategies for talent development within the cybersecurity and AI industry comes in very handy. So I would like to run through the strategies for talent development. When I look around, I can see most of the audience, actually young stars who will really fit in very well as far as this talent development is concerned. So I'll run through one by one. The first one, as you can see, we are talking of tapping into the hidden workforce, where you look at anybody around, because in the past, the notion has been that everything we leave it to the ICT fellows. Nobody else is concerned. That's where we went wrong. We are all affected, whether we like it or not, and therefore everyone should be involved in terms of this. There are people, as you may know, who are very committed, who are very interested in this, who have a passion, and they could do very well here, being part of cybersecurity army, who are not basically having ICT background. So basically what we want to do is to make sure we tap into that hidden workforce within the organization. 2, design an effective employee referral program. Of course, referrals are normally very, very crucial and very important and very reliable. So basically when we get this, like we are talking of, maybe if you referred somebody who will understand the culture of that organization is likely to fit in very well when they come on board to really fight this menace. The next one is prioritize internal mobility and talent access. Let's grow the people we have. We do not have to go out to look for people out there when actually we have people within ourselves, within our reach. So let's grow them. That's a very important strategy. And obviously when people who are there already realize that when you do what you're supposed to do well, there's that mobility, you can actually be uplifted. They will actually up their game, they will work very hard. There's also the issue of branding, employer branding, and employee value proposition, which is also very crucial. Look at the use recruitment data to make decisions, develop a recruitment marketing strategy, engage with passive candidates. There are those who actually may not be very outspoken, very outgoing, but quite passive. So if you engage them, you'll actually discover that they have some hidden talents that you can tap. Elevate the candidate experience, implement skills-based recruitment. This is also very crucial, and of course many of the employees today are just using that. There's no point you arriving with a first class when you are told to perform some basic task you are not able. It will not help you. And that's why as a country, we're going the CBC way, so that you come and demonstrate the skills you have acquired over a period of time so that we can help address these issues. foster a culture of continuous learning. Already it has been talked about. Of course, you are aware this space is very dynamic. What you acquired last year may not actually help you now. So that element of continuous learning is very crucial. That's why out there we have many organizations offering certifications to enable you keep the skills that are required. Then, of course, attracting talent into cybersecurity. We can look at fostering a safe and inclusive culture, look at the offering competitive compensation. That is very key. Look at, of course, or providing flexible work arrangements where anybody could work from anywhere as long as they're delivering what they have been asked to deliver. I know in the past it has been very difficult, but as we move forward, this is going to be the norm. Then, of course, prioritize employee well-being. This is also very crucial. We don't just have to think about work all the time. Let's all look at these people who are doing the work. Let's prioritize their well-being. And you can see there are a lot of suggestions there where we are, for example, the first one we are talking of investing in comprehensive wellness programs and mental health resources which shows a commitment to employee well-being. Then, of course, number two, we are talking of programs that may include access to counseling services, stress management workshops, and initiatives supporting work-life balance. That's very crucial. Otherwise, it may be very disastrous. Then, of course, enhance engagement opportunities. For example, providing opportunities for professional development, which is very crucial. We have already talked about that. Implement effective onboarding and mentorship programs. Mentorship is very key, very crucial. It really helps those youngsters who are coming up to fit in very well and do what they're supposed to do. Then, of course, number 7, invest in management training, which is very crucial. For example, if we are to equip the managers with of course, things to do with communication, effective communication, leadership skills, which will actually foster very positive relationships amongst the team members, so that at least we get the best out of the people who are working for us. Maintain open communication. That's very straightforward, because where there's no communication, things may go very wrong very easily. So communication is very crucial. It's a good strategy. Then soft skills, again, if you are just as a technical person, if you didn't have any soft skills, again, it may work against you, it may work against the organization. So it's important to have this as one of the strategies. Let's have our technical personnel being equipped with the soft skills, as you can see from that point. Okay, so in summary, we have actually basically talked about the figures, facts and figures, security trends in 2024. We have also looked at the strategies to hire and develop cybersecurity champions, creative strategies to hire and develop security champions, attracting talent into cybersecurity. And in conclusion, we can say by implementing these strategies comprehensively, organizations can create an attractive workplace environment that draws top talent into cybersecurity field while fostering long-term retention. Thank you very much. I was so scared. He said when he stands, I have to leave the stage. But I told him I'll sit down. So do I sit down? Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Thank you, Dr. Wakoli. Asante. Two more speakers. Just two, our training partners. Isaka and Huawei. We begin with Isaka. That's Marianne Mwai.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we wait for the slides to come up, how many of us have heard about Isaka? Hands up. Presentation will be talking about 100%. So if I could just do a quick overview, starting with my name. Special Programs Director. Isaka is a professional organization. What we normally do, we normally focus on training, of various aspects for digital trust professionals. Let's start here. So Isaka is a leading body dedicated to IT governance. So we are looking into, Isaka Kenya is affiliated to Isaka Global, and this is where we get our direction from. So Isaka in total has 170,000 members, that's globally. Then we have 200 chapters globally as well. And Kenya is the 158th chapter. We have now, coming closer home, we are 18 chapters in Africa. And now, this is where we need Shangwe na Vigelegele. Kenya is the second largest chapter in Africa after South Africa. So we are doing pretty well. And we encourage all of you to join us here. So we have 1,900 members, and out of these, 180 are student members. I'm repeating that. 180 are student members, so students are welcome. So we envision to be a digital trust. We are the ones who build this. We are the ones who equip the digital people with digital trust in, capacity. So next one, so what's our purpose? We are looking to help businesses and technology professionals around the world realize their potential in utilizing technology. So here we have a slide showing our leadership in Kenya, from our president right through to the board members, our immediate former CEO, and the She Leads Tech liaison. For the ladies in the house, She Leads Tech. So we have an arm specifically focusing on the ladies. So what are our offerings? So I did mention this, that our professional, we have professional membership, we have immediate graduate members, and these are people who have just finished right through to like their second year after completing campus. And then we have the student membership. These are just the statistics showing how our numbers have been growing over the years. So you can see in 2022, we're at 73.27. 2024, we are at 75. Value of Isaka, why become an Isaka member? We are talking about professional development. We are talking about you're gaining insights from what is happening all around the world. You're gaining guidance. You're gaining networking opportunities, and you're looking at also professional recognition. If I could just talk about a bit more about networking opportunities. Once somebody is a member and a registered member in ISACA, then you're able to get mentorship, not just from Kenya, but from any of the other members globally. So this is available to the members, to ISACA members. Okay, so here we have a representation of our certifications. How many have heard of CISA? Hands up, hands up, hands up. Higher up. CISA? That is our best performing certification. It's right up there when you're talking about IT audit certifications. It's right up there. So here we are talking about IT audit. We are talking about risk professionals, equipping people so that they can be able to look at risk and look at their processes and know how to deal with risk and mitigate the various risks that would be there. You're also talking about CISM, which is for managers, IT managers. This would help them looking at information security governance. You're talking about Seagate. Now, when we come here, this is not specifically for IT, Seagate. IT, when you're looking at governance of IT, we have people using IT within their organizations, and they are the ones who need to be there assisting in governing this particular IT space. So we have Seagate, and then do you see CDIPSI? There's a lot of talk and a lot of talk about data protection, and this certification is preparing for data protection professionals, and it is internationally recognized. Now, the last two are for the ICTA and CET are for graduates who are just leaving campus, getting into the job market. So we are preparing them for the job market. If I could just go to the next slide to just show you the tracks that one goes through to get to the ICTA. These are stackable certifications, so you can start right from computing, build up to networking infrastructure, build to cybersecurity, like that. So you can stack them up until you get the full certification. We also have CET. Next slide. We also have CET, which also has, again, specializations within there. We are talking about, you can be CET artificial intelligence, or CET blockchain, or CET cloud, or CET IoT, depending on where your area of interest is. This is Certificate in Emerging Technologies. So these are the various certifications that I have just spoken about. And so ISACA normally has various trainings and conferences which run every so often. And we have some local trainings, we have international trainings, we have various workshops. We also have customized trainings. So if you have, we've been talking a lot about the weakest link in an organization, if a breach is to happen, is the human being. Now, not everyone is an IT professional, not everyone is IT savvy. But as we're moving, we need to move everyone with us. So we have customized training so that we can also help, we can train the rest of everyone else so that they can be able to, they're prepared when when they're faced with a cyber threat. So we also have ISACA student groups, which we run, which are in various universities. University of Nairobi has one. We have UMA, we have Moi University, we have Pwani. There are 14 of them so far. We are still moving on and bringing in students. And why do we do this? We are, during our meetings with the ISG, we call them ISGs. During our meetings with the ISGs, what happens is that we provide mentorship. We have sessions which we run with them, provide mentorship sessions with them. We organize hackathons so that we can equip them with a kind of knowledge, with the knowledge that they need. So down there, there's a link. Oh, sorry. So down there, we have a link that is to our calendar, showing the various events that are happening throughout this year. So an example of this is the GRC conference that is coming up on the 28th of October to the 1st of November at the Lake Naivasha Resort. And these are the meetings where we normally bring together auditors, risk professionals, IT professionals, governance professionals, so that we can be able to address the various issues that we are facing within the sector. We have talks and workshops and conversations from different people to address various issues. For example, how are you going to present to, like, let's say, board members, issues to do with risk, yet knowing very well that they don't come from an IT background, yet they need to help you come up with solutions for whatever it is that you're facing as the boots on the ground. Then we normally have, other activities. We have the Men's Day, the International Men's Day. That's on the 22nd of November. We have Leading Beyond Limits. This is a ladies' round table. This is happening on the 12th, on the 15th of November. And for the students, we have a scholarship, a call for papers for scholarship that is happening right now. It's still open right until the 22nd of October. And this is focusing towards, we are looking to get applications from students who are interested in IT, cybersecurity, and what have you. So that is something that the students can take advantage of. It is still open until the 22nd of October. We have the Isaka Community Day. This is where we give back to the society. We've identified four children's homes with various needs, where we now go and give back to them. Their needs are very varied, right from basic food to others where we call for old machines, your old fridges and what have you, because there's a boys' home where they really tinker with these devices and come up with amazing things. So then we have the joint webinar that's happening tomorrow. This joint webinar is between the Harare chapter and the Kenya chapter. So those are just some of the other activities that we normally do. So in a nutshell, that is Isaka, and thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, before the last speaker, we have a special announcement to make, and it's going to be made by John Butunga. Special announcement. When the speaker comes, please come and announce now so that we have the last speaker. Sorry? After the last speaker. Maureen Wanjiku Waniki. Huawei. Okay. She's not here, so we will have the announcement.
Sorry, guys, I was told to talk and finish everything. So it's my joy the days come to an end, just like yesterday. And it's interesting that I need to introduce myself. My name is John Mutunga. I'm the Managing Director for CyberPro, the convener of this conference. And I'm pleased to see you all here. You've been patiently waiting, guys from everywhere. You've listened to multiple speeches and multiple discussions on the cutting forward way for cybersecurity. I'll make a light note on the cybersecurity ecosystem. For those of you who are thinking that it's over, it's not yet over. We are starting all over again. With the entry of AI, with all the technologies around, I think most of the stuff we are struggling with will be sorted by AI. I'm thinking of a world whereby modules and machines will be generated to generate other machines, which will be watching other machines. A human factor will not be necessary at all, because these machines are able to collect data from other machines, and just the chain will be so long, and you won't have anything to do as a human. I'm looking at a situation whereby your child, sorry to say this, will fall in love with a machine and come home and tell you, I don't need to marry. My girlfriend, who is here, a robot, is okay with me. He takes care of me, she takes care of me, she cooks, she doesn't get angry, she has no mood swings. And he doesn't come home late. Listen, if you can think about it, it can be done at this age. You just need to think big. I will say this because the Jews are not in the house. How could somebody blow up the pager? How? Anybody who knows how the pagers were blown up at different states? The only thing I can tell you guys, if you can think it, it can be done at this time. And you don't have to be scared by everything which was spoken here. You don't have to worry about it. With entry of AI, all of this stuff will be sorted out by themselves. Just like there's no rain and then it rains, just like there's no new technologies and new technologies are coming up, we are totally becoming machines. And machines will override humans. We just need to be ready. And we just need to agree that machines will take care of everything. AI will override your writing. The last time I wrote a letter was last year. All I usually do is go to ChatGPT, just write an agreement. I just need to mention the guy writing the agreement, the one I'm writing an agreement with, and they process. And I say, this is not good, they give me another one. I say, this is better, can you add this? They add. Why should we think anymore? Why should we be scared that our jobs will go? They have already gone. Why should we be scared that our education will be minimized, and the quality of education will be destabilized? Because the content is out there. We don't need to read more. We don't need to research more. All we need to do is align ourselves with the right train. Which train is this? Cyber. Aligned with AI. Machines will be preaching in churches. Machines will be piloting. Machines will be holding conferences like this. The last speaker just said, the guy from Ghana just said, we won't have even parliament. People will be having parliament discussions in their bathrooms. And I'm here trying to chop and code and try to do MML, and people are printing aircraft wings. I've attended like 10 conferences international within this year, and I found nobody is talking about what we are talking about. People are talking about artificial rain, artificial children, artificial schools, artificial systems, where machines are making machines to make machines so that they can have the final machine. And the only thing you need to do is endorse with your own eyes. You just look at it and it says approved. Why do we have to go this far? The only thing and the only item you need right now to do is to align yourself. A CyberPro, I didn't give you the history of CyberPro. Our intention was to bring the three ecosystems together: the government, the academia, and the industry. We've picked this focus from the ecosystem of technology in Israel. Do you know Israel is number 1 or 2 in the world on technologies, especially cyber? And I moved in there and thought of, how can we have something like this in Kenya? How can people listen to us? Because our main focus is not money. We are not looking at economic advancements as a nation. We are not looking at individual personal advancements. We are looking at building a system whereby when you sit down, you have a love for your nation. We are looking at national security, where the students will not hack the government and the government will not say they are half-baked. Where the industry will not ask for 5 years experience, but will be part of the 5 years experience. I'm working for Dell, and I'm working with the university to build students who will be able to work for Dell. I'm working for HP, and I'm looking for students from first year to work for HP. And we do apprenticeship. That's the only way you can create a positive impact on the nations we have today. Because the people are full of, the people are full of financial ability. What is in it for me? How much am I going to make? If this thing doesn't make money for me, I don't need to. And you tell someone, I need to do a master's degree in USA, and how much does it cost? $56,000. I'm not ready to pay for that. And it's over. So what you do, just go to a certain university in Kitui and do a simple course. And your dream is drops. You start now thinking like a farmer. I want to encourage you guys. You may never remember, but where we are going as a nation, the love of your nation can change a lot of things. Yeah, you're laughing because you're thinking of how you are going to hack treasury. I sat down with a serious hacker in USA and in Israel, and I asked them, so if you are good hackers, why don't you hack the Central Bank of Kenya? They asked me, where do we take the money? That's why I'm saying the love for the nation will supersede your personal love. One of the strengths of Israel and the nation that is built with the foundation of God is the love for their nation. They can talk about everything else, but when you touch the nation, they change. I don't know whether they are the only guys speaking Hebrew, but I know it's something which we can implement. It only takes one man to change the state of our nation. One person really. It could be you. As a company, we are giving a scholarship for 5 students to study at Tel Aviv University. As I said, the Hebrews are not around, so I can say anything. We are giving scholarship for 5 students. Of course, we are not taking the best. We are taking people with the passion. You could be even doing law. You could be doing even agriculture. You are the guy we want. 5 guys, fully paid scholarship, Tel Aviv University, but you need to choose which course you want to do. There are so many courses there. There are so many disciplines. You need to choose which course you want to do. And then in the month of October and November, we are offering scholarships we are offering masterclass training, which is paid for. The same place, the same country, but we may not be at Tel Aviv University. It's organized by the tall guy who is seated here. He's the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Development at Tel Aviv University. This guy addresses, this guy who is seated here sits in the board of Netanyahu, the president, the prime minister. He said, if you want to create something like what we love, I'll come here and speak. Of course, today he has not spoken, but he looks tired. You can change the nation by putting effort on what you do and having passion for what you do. And then later you look back and say, proudly I was in UN. For those who are from UN, you can say I'm from Kambiaga. I'm from Moi University. I sometimes wonder why when people get power in the nation, they don't like saying, I'm an ex-UN or something like that. I studied in KU. They don't say that. Or they say, you cannot be a lawyer in this country when you studied from UN because the student is half-baked. And I ask, but you are a former student of that university. You are the guys who are baked. You are the guys who write that new constitution. You are the guys who lead in cybersecurity. You are the guys who make the decision for where the nation is going. Ghana has a very nice policy and a strategy on cybersecurity. But we can be better in Africa if we want. We can supersede everyone if we want, because we are hardworking and we are passionate on what we do. Just check out around and you see how passionate are Kenyans. You'll find a guy pushing mkokoteni or ox cart and he's still pushing. And he doesn't care even he's pushing it on the highway. In some countries, you can't do that. We are passionate on what we do. And cybersecurity is all about passion. Most of us seated here have no degree in cybersecurity, no degree in computer science. Most of you. The rumor is the head of cybersecurity in Central Bank is not a computer science student. It's a teacher. Rumors sit that if you want to go far on cyber and want to build a life based on this, you can make it by your own choice and by your own research. I'll give you a small course, RSA conference in USA. If you log into RSA and listen to what they are teaching, you will get a free certification on the course of what you have read. And sometimes they call it CPM or what? Hours. Dig out and know what you want to become. Dig out and pursue what you want to become. Because it will only take your passion. The government will not encourage you. The industry will not encourage you. If you are a student, the industry thinks you are not pure to start working. So they need to take you, train you again for 2 years. And I ask them, so when you train someone for 2 years, and then he's hired by Fortinet, after training him for 2 years, he's trained by somebody like a Checkpoint, then he's hired by Fortinet. Don't you feel you have lost? Of course, us as a company, we have trained many people and they leave. I don't want to see the people who have paid 2 million to train also leave. So what do? I go back to the university. First year, you are already working with you. Second year, you already can deliver. Third year, you are able to market yourself out in the public domain. Fourth year, we don't want you. Just leave. We are getting other first years. And you go and work for the big companies in Africa. It's a strategy, and it works. It doesn't only work here, it works also in Hungary. It works in China, it works in Israel. One day I sat down with a pastor and he told me, what I've told you, I learned for 5 years. And I've just told you in 10 minutes. I'll say the same thing. It took me many years to learn that passionately you can do anything. It's the only way left now. Because for the funds, you don't have. For somebody to encourage you, you don't have. Everybody for himself. So passion, you don't need encouragement. You don't even need money. You just need to put more hours to it, and you will win. Tomorrow we start our last day of the conference, and we invite all of you, invite somebody, invite another person to come. And if you want to reach out to us, you can see our emails on this billboard. This one written CyberPro, or you can do cyberpro.global. You go into the website. We are still doing a lot of things because we are afraid you might hack us down. So we are setting up a totally self-learning platform. Maybe the courses will be 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 or even 50,000. We are moving on to universities. We are establishing academies within universities. We have an academy at Daystar, academy at Catholic University, and our National Cyber Research Center, which is supposed to be approved by the government as a National Cyber Research Center at the University of Nairobi, Chiromo campus. Those are some of the things we are doing for free. We're not looking at financial benefit, but we are looking at changing the ecosystem of cybersecurity and AI. And we need your help. We need your dedication. If you can train, if you can be involved, if you can market, if you can reach out to us, we'll give you the opportunity to do it. ke@cyberpro.ke is our simplest email. Thank you. Have a great evening. And if you could pass through the counters and see whether it's tea you can take, and then We'll meet back here tomorrow. God bless you.
Put you on my cellular. No. Don't say you had. Touch no wheel, cause I got a chauffeur. First class, how I get around the world. Just miss me with